My name is Rebecca Carter, and for most of my adult life, I thought marriage was something that followed a simple script. You fell in love, got married, built a family, and grew old together. My husband, Daniel, and I had been married for nearly 12 years when everything changed, when he confessed a wish that would alter the course of our relationship in ways I never imagined. What made it even more complicated was not the wish itself, but the fact that I said yes. Daniel and I met in college. He was studying mechanical engineering, and I was in the psychology program. We met in the library one evening, both buried under books and assignments, and struck up a conversation that carried us through hours of studying and laughter. Daniel had this calm, steady presence, the kind of guy who listened more than he spoke. I was the opposite, chatty, curious, always eager to dive into long discussions. Somehow, we balanced each other out. After graduation, we got married in a small ceremony at a church in Virginia, surrounded by friends and family. Life felt picture perfect. Daniel got a job at an engineering firm, and I pursued counseling. We bought a house, adopted a golden retriever named Max, and later had 2 kids, Emily, who is 8, and Jacob, who is 5. From the outside looking in, we were the kind of family people envied, the kind of couple others described as solid. But the truth is, even in solid marriages, cracks appear. They're often invisible to outsiders, but heavy to those inside. For us, the cracks began quietly, almost without warning. Daniel worked long hours, often coming home tired, and I was stretched thin, balancing my job, the kids, and the household. Conversations turned more practical than personal, more about bills and schedules than feelings and dreams. Still, we cared deeply for each other, and even in the busy chaos, we always tried to make space for one another. It was on our 12th wedding anniversary that Daniel surprised me with his wish. We had gone to a quiet restaurant, a rare night without the kids, and the soft candlelight made everything feel intimate again. He held my hand across the table, his thumb brushing gently over mine. "Rebecca," he said, his voice hesitant but steady. "There's something I've wanted to tell you for a long time. It's not easy for me to say, but I think it's important." My heart skipped, and I immediately braced myself for something terrible. An illness, a layoff, or something about us. I looked into his brown eyes, searching for clues. "What is it?" I asked softly. He took a deep breath. "I have a wish, something I've thought about for years. But I've been scared to tell you because I don't want to hurt you." I squeezed his hand. "Daniel, we promised each other we'd always be honest. Whatever it is, I want to hear it." He looked down at his plate, then back up at me. "I've always wanted to explore more in our marriage, to step outside the boundaries we set years ago. Not because I don't love you, God. Rebecca, I love you more than anything, but because I feel like there's a part of me that's unfulfilled, and I don't want that secret to fester until it breaks us apart." The words landed like a thunderclap. Infidelity. He wasn't confessing to it, but he was confessing the wish. My chest tightened, and I stared at him, unsure of what to say. Part of me felt betrayed that he even wanted something like that. Another part of me, the counselor in me, understood that suppressing desires can sometimes lead to more dangerous outcomes. "So, you're saying you want permission?" I asked, my voice quieter than I intended. Daniel nodded slowly. "Only if you're comfortable. Only if you say yes. I don't want to risk us. I want to be honest about what I've been feeling." I sat there staring at him, a storm of emotions swirling inside me. Love, hurt, fear, confusion. Yet underneath it all, there was something else. Curiosity. For years, I had been the dependable wife, the loyal partner, the one who kept everything together. I never allowed myself to wonder what it would feel like to break the rules, to step into the unknown. His wish cracked open something inside me I hadn't realized was there. That night, I didn't give him an answer. I told him I needed time, and he understood. For weeks, I wrestled with the decision. I spoke with my sister Claire, who advised me to guard my heart. I journaled every night, writing out pros and cons, fears and possibilities. Most importantly, I paid attention to the way Daniel treated me during this time. He wasn't pushing, he wasn't distant. If anything, he was more attentive, making me coffee in the morning, sending sweet texts during the day, helping with the kids more than usual. One evening, as I watched him reading to Jacob in the living room, his gentle voice filling the room, I realized something that shifted my perspective completely. Daniel's wish didn't come from a place of wanting to abandon us. It came from a place of wanting to live fully without lies, to share every part of himself with me, even the uncomfortable parts. That kind of honesty, I realized, was rare. So after weeks of silence, I gave him my answer. Yes, I whispered one night as we lay in bed, the room cloaked in shadows. I'll say yes, not because I want to lose you, but because I trust you, and maybe I have wishes too. His eyes widened, and for the first time in months, I saw a spark in them, a mixture of relief and joy. He pulled me into his arms and kissed my forehead. Thank you. You have no idea what this means to me. Saying yes was only the beginning. What followed was a journey neither of us could have anticipated. We set boundaries, rules we both agreed upon. Everything had to be honest. No secrets, no lies. We would check in regularly, making sure neither of us felt neglected or disrespected. It wasn't about replacing love. It was about exploring, about understanding ourselves and each other more deeply. The months that followed were challenging, filled with moments of doubt and moments of unexpected connection. There were nights when I cried quietly, wondering if I had made a mistake, and there were mornings when Daniel held me close and whispered that I was still his heart, his home, his forever. In an unexpected twist, opening the door to his wish also opened the door to mine. I admitted to Daniel that I sometimes longed for more adventure, more spontaneity in life. Not just romantically, but in every way. Traveling, pursuing dreams I had put on hold, rediscovering the version of myself I had buried under responsibilities. Together, we started saying yes to more things. Weekend road trips, dance classes, nights where we just talked until dawn. What began as his wish turned into our transformation. We didn't become perfect. We still argued, still stumbled, still faced judgment from people who would never understand. But our love grew stronger, not because it fit into society's neat little box, but because it was ours, raw, honest, and unafraid. Looking back now, years later, I realized that saying yes wasn't about infidelity at all. It was about choosing honesty over silence, growth over stagnation, courage over fear. Daniel and I are still together, still raising our children, still walking hand in hand through life. And sometimes late at night, I think back to that anniversary dinner and whisper a quiet thank you for his courage to share his wish and for mine to say yes, because sometimes the bravest thing you can do in love is to step into the unknown together.